In this 3TW, we're discussing LinkedIn,
Yeah.
and with Nev, author of Sales Success on LinkedIn. And what I'd like to get your advice on, Nev, is what should I be sharing, and what's the best way to share information on LinkedIn?
Okay, well, there's a couple of different ways we can share information on LinkedIn, but we need some guiding principles to start with. And we've talked about in previous sessions where we want to understand why you're on LinkedIn, tying in with some of your marketing, tying in with some of your sales activity. And the sales and marketing activity has shifted massively over the last few years in terms of how we engage people. So a real pushy outbound message seems to get very little engagement. So the guiding principle we need you to understand before you start sharing content is it's not about what you like, and it's certainly not always a sales message. It's about sharing information that will add value to your network, to your connections, that will help other people out. So what we say is you might find an article that might not directly relate to the product or service or solution that you might have or you might want to offer, but if it's something that your customers or potential customers are talking about, then you need to take that into account and share those sort of articles out. And what we say is, again, as a general principle is, if you're not sure about sharing an article, if you imagine you appeared on the 10 o'clock news or the front page of a national newspaper next to the article with your photograph, if you would be really proud that somebody had picked that up and put you on the news, kind of on TV or on the front of the paper, then yes, by all means share it. If that causes you to pause and think, well, actually, I'm not sure I want to be associated with that article, then don't share. That's the broad principle. For those not working in unregulated markets, it's fine to share whatever topics that you think is appropriate across the organisation, and really sit and discuss this as a team. What sort of things will add value to our customers? What sort of things will engage our customers? And you start from a position of think, but actually what LinkedIn does really quickly, it provides you some really detailed analytics in terms of what you share, and you can find out very, very quickly about what does and what doesn't engage. And sometimes it's the things that you put out that you think add massive value, but your audience just doesn't respond to. Other times you share stuff out, you think, oh, I'm not sure this will connect, and you get great engagement in terms of likes, comments, shares, views and engagement. And what we need you to be doing is looking at those things that do get that engagement piece and understand how that works, and then replicate that. And there's some broad principles, so you can share from trusted sources. So let's say I'm a member of the Institute of Directors, the IOD. If they publish a useful blog that I think others would find useful in terms of my connections, I share that blog out just by going to the IOD site, finding the blog and sharing it to share an update on the main page of LinkedIn. The other thing we can do is if we just want to type a few lines and share an update directly. But what's far more powerful is getting a great image out there. We've talked in previous videos about the power of the brain to recognize images over words. Well, a really striking image will help people connect and make them more likely to read the words that you've put there. I can think of an example of sharing something which was a picture that I'd taken on a morning walk where I was planning some content for us. I happened to take a reasonable picture of some waves crashing against a big piece of cliff, and it really caught people's attention, and it really made people stop and look at the whole article. And it was a very short article, about a paragraph big. So that kind of goes back to you're never sure what your audience is going to engage with. And the third way is to create content directly within LinkedIn. And there's two ways to do this. You can do a video directly from LinkedIn, which could be really useful. There's some guidance there. We probably want to think about that, about what video is and how you might want to engage people within LinkedIn or without LinkedIn. And also you can create a blog directly from the LinkedIn Pulse, where you can go and create an article with a picture and edit it almost like a blog, and create some brand new content of your own and share out some ideas and some thoughts. Now, again, don't lead with a sales message on that. Lead with things that add value to what you do. And that way you're sharing content regularly that your audience want to engage with, you're adding value, you're building that trust and that relationship. And what you can do occasionally when you're doing this is drop in more of a sales message. Nothing too pushy, but certainly need to make people aware of what you do. And there's all sorts of different stats, and I can't get to the exact number. Your audience will tell you what works best. But somewhere between 1 in 10 and 3 in 10 can be more of a sales message. It's of that scale. So if you got it the other way around, and 3 out of every 10 is useful and 7 out of every 10 is a sales message, that may not have the impact that you want or expect, and it almost feels counterintuitive. But when you switch that over and share content that engages people, it means with the occasional sales message, folks are far more likely to engage it. So the broad principle: think about the content, think about what's going to engage and help your audience, and track the analytics that LinkedIn already gives you.